And welcome everybody. It is John the Net Guy. It is a special Friday edition show. I'm doing a show all about creator and streamer tech. So maybe you've got a kid, maybe it's you yourself. I'm 44 years old and I'm streaming live here with you today. I'm available on Amazon, YouTube, Twitch, pretty much everywhere. And I use a lot of gear. I'm kind of a gear snob when you talk to a lot of my friends. And that gear includes, oh, hey, I'm over here on TikTok for the first time as well. Set it up a little bit better and answering your questions about streaming and the tech that you need. Now, speaking of that, this is not a sponsored show, but I use a lot of Neewer products. And when their products go on sale, I tend to pick them up because either I'm going to use them for a while, test them out, make a video, we're making content today, and or I'm going to give them away to another creator. Now, I wanted to do a live giveaway, but with the rules of Amazon and everything else, people have been getting in trouble for that. So I am still going to give these away. So say hi if you are on the TikTok over there. Again, well, you can also hit like, I think, on TikTok, right there, over there on the TikTok world. If you're following me on any of the other services, you can find all of the deals down there. And it's not even Prime. That's kind of funny. I got to switch this out. So let's switch this out. I had the Prime Big Days show. We do have some Prime shows coming up. Let me hide this one. And then let me show that one. Well, is it going to work today? maybe not. We'll get the captioning right here. But what we're going to do today is go over a lot of products that you could use to make yourself a streaming studio. I'll also talk about some tips and advice of how to use these products when I go through them. Plus, what you should get and what you should pass on if you've got some stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and check the chat here. It is a live interactive show. I want to see, hey, I see a couple people. We've got a friend of the show, Jonathan Talks Hardware, also another content creator. Does some great work. Good to see you. Because we're on Amazon, I'm going to have to hit go live on here, and then I'll have to be on my best behavior. So I'm hitting go live on Amazon in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now we are on Amazon. There we go. So now we're live. And thank you, Jonathan, for checking in. I use mostly Elgato gear, but I'm excited to see about what else is out there. Poso for life. Thank you for checking in on that. Absolutely. Somebody wants to join me and go live on TikTok. Should we let them? I'm going to pass on that one for now. I don't know if we're ready to do that just yet, you guys. But I'm going to get started here. The first item up, if you're going to be a streamer, you're going to be a content creator, you're going to really do anything with a webcam, even if for your job you just have to occasionally be on a webcam. This is a product that you should check out from Neewer. This is a 2-pack desk lamp. Now, what's cool about it is I happen to have a bunch of cameras here in my studio, so we can do an unboxing of it right now. Now you're saying, wait a sec, I see a light in here. This light is USB powered, and you only see one of them. Well, that's because I have the other one behind me right here. So inside of here, you're going to see a few items. You're going to get this long base here with a swivel end. That's important. You're going to get this tripod, which we're going to open up now. And then we're going to assemble this live together. And then you're going to get this pack of these colored little plastic pieces. And I'll tell you all about what those are for. They're called gels when we set this thing up. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. There's some other instructions. And normally there would be 2 of these because it's a 2-pack if you guys are just checking in. Awesome. So let's go ahead and start assembling this. I'll bring you back out. Very simply, you put the tripod base on. Now, be careful with these because I have actually broken the one behind me by just being a little aggressive with it. This top especially here, when you're adjusting these tops, so this screw is a retention screw. So you don't have to tighten this light very tight at all. This retention screw is what's really going to keep it retained. So go ahead and tighten that down. And then once it makes contact, tighten the retention screw. So you can see here, you can adjust the angle of it. I'm going to get it just like that. Now this is designed to go behind your monitor and give you fill light. So like I said, even if you're not a streamer, you need just some extra light here. And I'm going to do a couple tricks today. This is going to be kind of fun. Very long USB cable, you'll see. This is designed to reach all the way to the back of your computer, laptop, or any standard USB charger. Now, it doesn't come with a charger, but I just happen to have a regular standard USB plug down here, and I'm going to plug it in. There is a little control on it right here, so you can see the buttons. It literally, I'll bring you guys right down here. It's going to have an on-off and an up-down. That simple. There's not much else to it. So I can turn it on, and wow, look how much light that's providing. But the nice thing is it's completely adjustable, so I can bring it down. Now, like I said, you need light for people to be able to see you. So I'm going to go ahead and do a thing here. I'm going to turn off my big studio parabolic over there. And you can see just the difference it makes. So now this is me not properly lit, right? So the very first product we're looking at is a 2-pack of lights here. Now I'm looking on the TikTok, my phone's doing okay, but it still doesn't look quite right. Now, by just turning this on, you can see I've already got that split lighting, they call it. So you want to bring that up a little bit, and maybe that's about all I would need. And we would get the color temperature and everything just right. But there you go. So you've got one of these. But with 2 of these, you can either do the split lighting, or let's talk about these gels. Remember the gels? Let's say your favorite color is blue. See if I can get this right in here. So it's going to have a just a very clear, or not clear, a frosted slide that you put in here, and that's going to diffuse the light. So it just slides right into the front. So if you guys are taking a look, this is what it looks like when I point it right at you. There's just an LED grid inside there, which is dimmable, and this is actually set at really low. So I could take that out, or I could leave the diffuser in, and then I can slide in a new gel. And now it's a blue light. Now you may not be able to see that as much on that camera. This camera tends to do a little better. See how bright blue that is? Now there's 2 blues here. I could add another blue, give it a little bit more intensity. And as well, I could maybe say this one was going to be for my backdrop. Maybe I wanted to make my backdrop today bright blue for my set. So I'll come back out to the front here. And then I can turn this up. And actually, I've already got a bunch of lights casting blue, so it's not a great example. But you can see where I'm pointing it, that shadow on the wall. You can see when I point it around how strong that blue is. Maybe your favorite color is red. So you'll see a lot of YouTubers are using these with a gel. Now, this is a little bit different than standard RGB because it uses just white LEDs, but then you can see I can cast a red tone. And very, very budget-friendly option here. Hey, new guy checking in here. Bill says, I love watching your stuff. I'm from the Buffalo, New York area, and if button many products based on your recommendation and not have missed yet. Oh, okay, great. He's bought many products and not many have missed yet, or not have missed. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Yeah, I try to only demonstrate the things that I would recommend to people. It is kind of funny. You know, you don't hear me do a lot of bad reviews on things, and that's because I just don't put them on the show if they're not good. So this is definitely one of those good products. Uh-oh, there's my alarm for eBay. There's a networking switch on eBay I wanted to get for the show. So you can see this little tiny light does provide a decent amount of light, probably more than you'd ever need. With really cheap webcams and cheaper cameras, cheaper glass, the more light you can provide, the better. So the more of these that you can get, this puts out a ton of light. Let's take a look at the Amazon chat. I'm going to say hi to everybody on Amazon. Hi on Amazon. There we go. Right now, they are $33.99. I'm actually going to go right here, and I'm going to bring up the Amazon listing for this, and I'll also bring up that website so I can show you if you want to follow along and see what we're taking a look at. I'm going to go ahead and share that to you guys. You can see the window here, and I'm going to bring the Amazon page up. Now, I do get a commission in all transparency. I get a single-digit commission off these products when you purchase them. These are the products that are going to be on the show. If you ever want to see it, just come down here and click on the Neewer streaming products. You can see there's all the products that I have. Now, some of these are on sale. So if you have Prime, or there's another option here, you know, that might be something that you get a better deal on. I've seen some products cheaper. So if you're just tuning in on TikTok too, by the way, we're checking out this light from Neewer. It's a 2-pack of these extendable adjustable lights, and they're available for $35.99 right now. And the neat thing about that is you're getting two, so it's really like getting them for 30, what is that, divided by two, it's $18 each roughly. So pretty good deal. Okay, I'm going to come back here to the show and we're going to go into the next product. I'm going to turn the big spotlight back on, but this is a great entry level light kit. I love the idea that it has gels. I also love the idea that it has a diffuser. And if you've been watching my show for long, I have a box of lighting gear. One thing that you can do with this, just even though it's a really small light, it's not as big as the ring light we're going to use later, not as diffused. If you take just a clear shower curtain, maybe an old picture frame or just something square, and you put that between you and this light, you'll get the most soft diffused light for your videos or content creation, and it's going to look that much better. So that is from Neewer. That is their 2-pack of lights to kick us off. Just taking a quick look at the chat. Is it a 10G switch though, American Ass? And yes, it does have a 10G port. But I think that one's going to go away because I did not plan ahead. I'm going to pull up the next product here. We're going to do an unboxing of it. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up here also. And this is going to be for game streamers. This is going to be for people that, again, have a webcam by their computer, maybe a webcam and a microphone combination. And this is from Neewer. It's their tabletop stand with auxiliary holding arm. That's literally what they call it. So you can see it right there, tabletop stand with auxiliary holding arm. I'm going to bring it just a little bit in closer for our unbox. Now, as I take the pieces out of here, there's a lot of pieces involved, which is nice. They give you a lot of flexibility with this. You don't technically need to use them all, but you're going to see right away how convenient this is going to be. So we're taking a look real quick. Sometimes they keep stuff way down on the bottom. Looks like this one's clear. Okay, so you've got your instruction manual. It is a clamp mount for your desk. I'm going to bring this side of it out. Very, very easy to install. If you're watching me on TikTok, there's what it looks like. So this is a very simple mount if you were, let's say, going to mount your camera, like in my situation. And let me know if you guys want to see what cameras I use in here. I'll happily share with you today my setup. But if you wanted to mount a very expensive DSLR like I've got about $1,600 sitting on that desk over there. I don't have a mount as sturdy as this, so I know where this is going after the show. But if you want to mount your DSLR, you can do that. The other cool thing is they're going to include these little tiny, you can see them right there, these little tiny ball heads. And the neat thing about the ball heads is they're completely adjustable. So with this adjustable ball head, if your camera's not perfectly level, and that's a huge pet peeve of mine here. So if your camera's not perfectly level for some reason, you can go ahead and level it out just by adjusting the ball head here, and you can also rotate it. So once everything's fixed, you can tighten it down, which is great. And this thing, when I say this is adjustable, there you go. Look how high that can get up there. Now, the second piece of this is really important, and that is either for your microphone or many other devices. I've seen people use a top-down camera with this, use it for an auxiliary light. Remember that lighting I was just showing you? So what this one does, and it's cool about it, is it literally links on anywhere you want. So this little tiny end piece here is adjustable, and it'll link on. I'm going to do it a little bit higher. So depending on how high you wanted your camera mounted, this could be really low for like a microphone mount. And so this one also has an adjustable ball head there. We'll bring you guys back over so maybe you can see it a little better on this one. So again, this is completely adjustable, and now you have room for two. Now, what's neat about this is we said you could flip this over, and I've got a top-down camera rig. I'm just looking here on the Tic Tac. So I've got a top-down camera rig that I could set up within minutes wherever I'm at. So that's another cool piece of gear. So tripods, adjustable stands like this are just something that you have to have. And I've got a ton of these. I love all of them. So you can see how this works. It's got two arms. Now, they include a couple extra accessories. Let's talk about those right here. This is going to be for your smartphone. Now, technically, my smartphone over there is in use right now, but this mounts two ways. It's got a little mount on the bottom. So maybe you want to mount your smartphone this way. You can mount it like that. So now you've got the arm straight out. So that's holding maybe your cell phone up for you. Maybe that's going to be your transcript for whatever you're doing. There's a lot of cool transcribe apps, so you can have your smartphone there. Maybe you want to have your camera up here at the top then. Just adjusting these so you can see how these might fit together. So there you go. So you could have your camera here. You could have your smartphone. Maybe you want your smartphone out to the side. That would be another good one. So camera mounted here, smartphone off to the side. That would work really well. So taking a look at this, top downs showing only hands, aka how Canadians stream. That was one of my AVE. He's one of my favorite streamers. I think that guy really got me interested in streaming. Of course, you never actually see a picture of him. So, but yeah, this is from Neewer. This is their 2-arm desktop stand. Very, very sturdy here. So excited about this thing. This is actually going to go where I have currently a lesser quality mount, and I'm going to use this with my DSLR. Again, lots of flexibility. This has got 2 arms. There are multiple versions of this. So if you want one that has 2 arms that stick out, if you want ones that have different mountings that you can do that with, there's a lot of options available there. So coming back over here to our listing, I want to make sure I'm showing you guys all the great products that we have. We talked about lighting. We've talked about then something to maybe hold your camera with, like this. I'm going to move this out of the way. Also, it's got adapters for microphones. That's what's coming up next. So you know what? I'm going to keep this off to the side here just because we might want to use this with a microphone. I'm going to go ahead and adjust this one here. The adjustment mechanism is kind of interesting. Let me show you how that works. So it uses this clamp to clamp anywhere along the unit, so I can open it up. You have to open it up quite a ways. So there we go. I'm still here. I'm just way off in the corner getting this thing adjusted. To use the lower end of the mount side, that's the one thing I've noticed. The thicker part of this mount, you have to adjust it really low. Okay. Bringing us all back over here. So now I've just attached this to my desk. This would actually be a really cool side setup if I was a streamer. I could have my side camera here, and then I could also have maybe my microphone off to the side. That would be really cool. I'm going to bring the next product up, which is actually from Neewer as well. And this is going to work on your DSLR camera or other devices. And that is a microphone. I've gone through so many microphones. I'm wearing a microphone in this ear. I've got a microphone over here. I've got a microphone up there, which, you know what? I forgot to turn on today. So let me turn that microphone on. Okay. So I got backup scratch audio that I can use. Microphones are incredibly important. Neewer has you covered there. So this is the CM14 Pro. Now, this microphone has a lot of features. One of them coming with it is going to be called a dead cat. You'll get to see that. It is nothing bad. And I'll take a look on the TikTok. Here you go. That's what we're taking a look at right there. I'll let you guys see that as well. So this one will work with your DSLR or smartphone. It's a directional microphone with a super cardioid pickup pattern. I'll tell you all about that in a second here. And the idea about this is it's going to capture better audio than your smartphone or your native. I got 2 alarms set here. Here we go. Smartphone or your native audio. So I'm opening this up. This is from Neewer. There's a few items in here. There's 2 different models too. There is a Pro and a non-Pro. I haven't really talked about the difference yet. The CM14 Pro standard, it's a mini shotgun microphone. It's going to come with 2 cables, it looks like here, and we'll talk about the difference on that. And this is what's going to connect your DSLR. It's going to have a hot shoe mount, which is also a tripod mount. Remember, we talked about having this mount over here. I'll talk about what that looks like in just a second. Then it's going to have a carry bag. That's one difference on the Pro, is it has this carrying case. And then inside of here is your microphone, which I haven't even taken out yet. I was literally waiting on this because I wanted to show you guys what this sounded like. Okay, so there's the microphone in here, and it's already installed on the dead cat. So they call this a dead cat, not officially a dead cat. The idea here is this is going to be a windscreen, and it's going to protect the microphone from any wind noise that gets blown onto it. So there you go. So that is your dead cat mount. I'm going to go ahead and take that off just because I want you to see it. Now, there's 2 different kinds of cables here. One of them is going to be labeled with the little smartphone tag, and the other one has no label, it looks like. Now, you can tell by the ends, there is a TRRS end and a TRS end. tip ring sleeve. So you've got two of those. And one of them is for microphone and stereo audio, and one of them is only for microphone. If you're going to use it with a smartphone, you're going to want to install it this way and plug this side with the three black rings onto your smartphone, and you could use it that way. If you're going to install it for maybe a DSLR, so this is my fancy tracking gimbal setup. Look how smooth that is. I think I have that thing balanced just right. You can see how that works. So if I wanted to mount this to go do, I have a shoot coming up here for my younger daughter's Christmas recital. I can go ahead and set this up for that. So I'm going to go ahead here just so you guys can see it. I'm attaching this shock mount. Now, what's beautiful about this shock mount here is any sort of vibration or shock will get transferred into the shock mount and less will get onto the device. So now you can see how that works. So that is a microphone mount. What's funny is I have had forever, if you guys are taking a look at the main camera here, see this microphone? Very similar thing, just from another brand, Comica, but this does a very, very similar thing here. And this is what I would use it with my DSLR. So I'd go ahead and plug it into the back here. And then I have a microphone input right here on my DSLR, and I can slide that in and get better quality, much better quality directional audio out of this. And then I can install this dead cat, as you would have it, on here. And you can see how flexible that is. Look how that's vibrating, but the rest of the unit isn't. So that's isolating any vibrations out from the microphone. But with any microphone, what's the important thing? How does it sound? So let's try that out. I'm ready to do a sound test. We're going to go ahead and do this. I have never done this before live with a traditional mic like this. But what I figure I can do, I'm going to give you the scratch audio out of my GoPro that's over here. I'm going to switch over to using that audio instead of my headset, and you're going to get to see if this works. So this is, again, the CM14 Pro from Neewer is what we're going to be taking a look at. And hopefully I can switch audio fast enough and you guys won't be too disgruntled about it. Okay, so right now I've got in here, I've got the Comica, and I'm trying to see if I can get the model number off of this one. Oh, sorry. I don't have the, CVM VM10 number 2. So that's my Comica that I use right now. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn the mic audio off. I'm going to turn this audio on, and I'm looking for my audio levels. You're hearing me out of the GoPro now. Let me know if you hear that. So if you hear that, that means that I've got that audio working right. So that's coming, or should be coming, out of my GoPro. I don't think I have any auto gain adjustment. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause it for just a second, and I'm going to switch microphones. I'm going to bring you back over here now. So that's, again, my much closer audio, much richer sounding. So I'm going to bring the hot shoe out. So there goes the Comica. And then I am going to, so you guys heard that for sure. I should have given you a headphone warning, huh? I'm going to go ahead and put this one on, and we'll keep this on just the rest of the show as a backup. Okay, I'm ready to test the audio. Now we're going to be testing the audio from the CM14 Pro. Let me get this out of the way. I don't want to bump that over accidentally while we're playing here. And we're switching. Okay, so now you're hearing the audio from the CM14 Pro. Now, I don't expect it to be richer than this. This is just overkill. It's hard to carry this around. But as a content creator, having good audio is the number one thing. If you're going to start any YouTube video, get yourself a great point and shoot camera, or get yourself your iPhone and use the adapter if you need to. But get yourself a directional microphone like the CM14 Pro. And hopefully you guys can hear the sound out of it. Let me know, what do you think? Does it sound rich? Does it sound deep? Does it sound tinny? Is it picking up the computer and the background noise that I've got going on here? I'd love to know about it. Looks like we're up to 800 likes on TikTok. I got 1 hearts going. Thank you guys all on TikTok that are tuning in. Now, the audio on TikTok you're just hearing is out of my ear and not the microphone test. So they're saying not bad at all. You know what? It's always great to have a backup. Now, I'm going to switch to a couple other microphones just in the house here so you can see. This is my microphone up here. So this has got a microphone just out of set. That's a secondary microphone I use. There's also a microphone technically in that camera, but I don't know if it's going to work. So I'll switch to that camera. Now you guys are hopefully hearing the audio out of that. So you're kind of getting a difference of that's scratch camera audio from way over there. This is a little bit closer audio here. Now you don't get to see me because this is on my top-down camera, which is right up there. So I actually have audio being recorded from multiple devices. I'm going to bring it back here. Oh, sorry, there's probably a horrible echo there. My bad. But yeah, so this is the audio now back to the CM14 Pro. Let me know if you think I could run with that. Do I sound good enough? Who knows? Maybe I could do that. It's always great to have that. Sounds worse on the other cam and the top cam. Okay, excellent. That's great to know, because then we know that the CM14 Pro is doing its thing. I'm going to bring you guys all the way back here. We're back on my regular microphone. So that was from Neewer. If you were out in the field, I would put the dead cat on, or this little tiny thing that's on the side here. This is just another type of a windscreen, just a foam sock that goes over. It's very compressed because it needs to get out of the box for longer. But you could definitely use that. I would say with this and a smartphone, I know a lot of creators. I see one of them in the chat that started out with even just a regular smartphone. So this would be a great add-on, and it gives you that directional, easy to use audio. So that was from Neewer. I'm going to take a quick look at our product list here. I want to make sure I'm putting the right products in order for you guys. Let's go back and take a look at the website for, here we go, the CM14. I'm going to check Amazon and make sure I didn't miss anything over there. So this microphone is available right now with a 20% off. So that's even cheaper. Now the ratings on it, 3.6. Audiophiles will destroy you. Just so you know, audiophiles are very, very difficult to please. I'm just changing one of my settings here. I need to turn the studio AC back on because somehow my studio AC turned off and it's already like 80 something in here. But yeah, this microphone, $22 minus an extra additional 20% would be great. I'm just coming back over here now onto TikTok. Hopefully you guys can see me again. I had to step away for just a second on the TikTok side. And we're going to go back over here to our product list, and we're going to see we've knocked out the first two. Now we're going to get into some fun lighting products. I'm going to pull out the next product here, which is coming up, and this is their PL81 light. Now there's a couple different versions of this. I have the PL81. There's also the PL81 Pro, which it looks like I tagged that one. I want to make sure I get the right one, but I have the PL81. Let me grab that for you real quick. And that's this light. We're going to do a quick unboxing of it, and then we'll talk about where you might use something like this. So here we go. So top down, and right here, we're going to do that quick unboxing. This light does come with a carry bag, which is awesome. This is what I would call a utility light, or a videography utility light. It is only white in color, so you don't see RGB. Whenever you see RGB next to that, that means it is the red, green, and blue. So, oh, did I bump? I think I bumped my top-down camera when I was in here. There we go, a little straighter. So we're looking in to see what's in there. We have the light itself. There is a clamp mount for your monitor or wall or any other device. You can also unscrew this and screw it onto any 1/4-20 thread is what they call that here, because the light's going to have that, and it's going to have USB Type-C charging, so you can charge this really anywhere you're at. So if you're just tuning in here on the TikTok, let me show you guys this. This is the Neewer light. I'm turning it on right now for our TikTok folks, and that is not that bad. You know, the intensity on it can be changed. I can change the color, so you can see the color temperature. That's a whole nother thing. So you got warm colors, that's your 2700 kelvins. Your bright colors like this is your 80. Oh, this one says 10,000 Kelvin. That's your bright white sunlight there. So very good fill. You can see how quick this works. This one is also designed with a hot shoe mount, and I would use this out in the field if I needed to add some fill light to a video I was taking. So this being a little bit larger than the ones that are coming up gives a little bit, you can see how it casts a little lighter there, you know, a wider light. It also does have this kind of a gel over it, they would call it, but this diffuser. So if I need more intense light, a little bit more lumens, I can take this soft diffuser off. And again, that you can see the color temperature change. Now I can turn it down to almost nothing. This is just imperceptibly on. Let me see if I can get it over here on the side camera. You can see how barely on that is. And then I can turn it all the way up. You can see how bright that gets. So it has quite a range, and then I can change the color temperature you see here. Now, I tend to tune all of my lights for 5,000 Kelvin. That works really well. You will notice there are some lights that don't perform well, and that's just easier when you're doing photography, videography, that all your lights, put out the same white. So that's something that's really important. I'm taking a look here. I can't put that on the chat. Come on, people. There's Jonathan Hardwick's checking in on the face space. Thank you so much for tuning in, sir. He's one of my best audiophiles out here. Very consummate professional and knows a ton of stuff. He has forgotten more than I will ever know about audio. So thanks for checking in. Absolutely. There's a lot of great mics out there. We're taking a look now at the PL81. Now it's USB chargeable and it is rechargeable. So it has a built-in battery. You don't have to access it. The beauty of this thing is, again, it's going to have an adjustable color temperature. Very simple. If we look on the back here, it's got 4 lights. So I'm at 2 out of 4. It's got a USB and then a power button. Easy to use. Always get yourself at least one good fill light like this. So have that in your streaming arsenal. I have a bunch of these things. Now you're saying, well, what about RGB? What if I want to bring an RGB light into the discussion? Absolutely. Now I'll show you one other thing on this before we sign off of this product. This has that 1/4-20 mount here. What you can do with that 1/4-20 mount, you can put it there. And now I'm going to bring it over here. I could attach this to the top of my laptop. It's actually got on the bottom, you see how it has that soft shoe there? It's designed to grab onto the laptop, not pinch the screen, but use the back of it to actually hold on, which is great. So that's another thing you can use this for. They do make the Pro version, which is computer controllable. So imagine you're in your game and you want more light or less light. You can maybe hook this up to your Stream Deck. I could see that being really cool. But definitely have one of these in your arsenal if you're going to do video work. And I've done a ton. I'm going to show you the next product, which is our RGB version of this. It's a little bit smaller. Let me make sure I get it out here. And this is going to be a giveaway item. So I can't do giveaways on Amazon. I apologize. While we're streaming on Amazon, they frown greatly upon that. So I will have to do this giveaway in a second. And you know what? I don't know if this got added. There it is. Okay. I'm looking to see their model number. This is the RGB 61 is the model number. We're going to take a look here. The RGB 61 right here is a portable mini LED light from Neewer. Shares a lot of features of its older cousin. It's a little bit more affordable. There's the USB. There's the light itself. Now, it does come with instructions. I've got another one here. I recommend having 2 of these. So if you're going to order that, this is the one that has the instructions still in it. Instructions are fairly basic, but they are going to teach you about HSI, and then you're going to learn about CRI in here and lumens. That's another thing. So lots of different things you can look at and find out in the manual, and I will explain them as we go. So let's take a look. I'm going to get you real close on this one. Whoop. Okay, with the top-down camera, I'm going to show you real close how this works. Now, why is this thing flashing red and blue? Well, this is one of the special FX modes that this has. I'm going to show you a few of these here. So this is called Cop Car. Next one is called Ambulance. You can see that. I'm going to try to not cover the light so you can kind of see what it is. So it's a blue light. Fire. So it's going to do red and white. Lightning. Now, this is cool. This is a random, and it's going to really throw off my shutter speed here. It's a random lightning effect. So if you're doing your first video or film and it's a night scene and you want light in a window that looks like there's lightning going on outside, this does it for you. This is a whole lighting crew for you. Fireworks, so it's going to be just a RGB strobe. Now, this is a TV, so when you see this one, it's actually just going to be adjusting itself, and it's going to be kind of flickering, going between the different lighting colors. So lots of different modes. I'm not going to go through all of them. This is a candle mode, so it's going to be a real warm light. Party modes, a faulty bulb. Maybe this is your horror film. You can see that bulb, starting to go out, and you can put this up there. Before, these things used to take a lighting crew here, or take there we go. I'm going to turn you guys a little bit closer here. Or it would take a bunch of work to come up with this. But this is all built into this. And this is not the only, this is a strobe mode. This is not the only feature for this. Now you can adjust the intensity also of any one of these special effects. There's your paparazzi. You know, you want to do a film with a bunch of people, maybe do some special effects for your next video. You can do that. And then the emergency. And I believe there's a high and a low beam, red flash, green flash. So 20 different modes. This is called HSI slow: hue, saturation, and intensity. That's what HSI stands for. The nice thing about that is if you support HSI in your lights, you can say, oh, you know, my HSI at 200 is blue or whatever it is. I'm going to switch modes on this. So by holding, let me turn the power on. By tapping the mode switch, you can switch between modes. And here I'm in CCT mode, and this is HSI. So my hue is 0. Now I can adjust that hue up or down. Now, if you see, as I'm adjusting the hue of the light is changing. I was trying to change it there faster. There we go. So about 200 is a blue that I like. So 200 I can do. I went a little bit too far past. We'll come back. So if you can tune your lights and you want them all to be the same blue, if they support HSI, you can say, hey, my blue, maybe I like 220. Maybe that's one of the blue that I like. So I can come over here to 220. And then you can program that hue. Now, what's the saturation? Well, we're going to go ahead and hit the, we'll go back in the mode. We're going to hit the power button one time. It takes the menu over to the saturation mode. And if I turn this way down, you're going to notice that's turning away from the blue and it's going more towards a white now. And now it's back to almost a pure white. And if I want it to come back to blue, I'm holding this down and I'm just letting it switch over to this blue mode if I hold it properly. There we go. It's getting back, and now it's a really rich blue. So that's the saturation. That's how much white versus color you have in there. And then the last one is your intensity. So now if I look at you guys on this camera, I can hold this down at 60%, 40%, 30%. And 8%. Now I'm almost to 0. And so you can see this thing puts out very minimal light if you want it to. That's down to 1% there. And then you can increase the lighting and put out a ton more of light. So very popular to have. Now I'm going to show you exactly where I used 2 of these on a recent video that I have. Forgive me if this doesn't work, but I'm going to do my best because I want you guys to be able to see this. And I'm going to go ahead and check that it is streaming properly. So this is a video I shot, and it was about a pro quality webcam. And what I said is your CEO's webcam has arrived. So you're going to go ahead and see me doing this shoot here. But I'll get about 25 seconds in, and this is where I'm doing a split lighting. And this is super popular, by the way, with YouTubers, is to have the left side to be a red and the right side to be a blue. You'll see this in a lot of my video shoots. And what's funny is I use 2 of these. So I'm just using 2 of these these lights to pull it off. All I do is I change the HSI on one of them, not to cop car, but to 0, essentially a red. There we go. And then I change the other one to be a blue. And then I just set these on the different sides of the product. And by doing that, I can create that split lighting effect, which is really popular. So this is the RGB 61. We're going to go ahead and take a quick look of that. And we're going to look in here. There they are. It does have a small plastic cover on it. And that small plastic cover is what's doing the diffusion here. You can pull it off, but it is very intense. I'll warn you. So that's a little bit more intense. You can see I put the plastic diffuser on, and that's kind of spreads it out a little bit wider. So that's something you might do. Batteries are going to last over an hour on these, usually a couple hours, 2.6 hours it says here. In fact, I've recharged these a lot. Now you can spend more money than this. So they're offering $24, and I have spent a lot more money. I'll show you over here if you want to know. I was telling my friends the other day, I said, you know, what's funny is I have this Neewer gear and I have the more expensive stuff. Most of the time I come back to the Neewer products. These were almost 4 times as expensive. They're from a company called Aperture, which makes more pro level gear. I bought them from a fellow YouTuber's recommendation. And you know what? You get the same exact features and the same menus from these guys as you do from the ones that cost 4 times as much. And in fact, I think these go through batteries much more. These ones are magnetic, which is nice. So I do have one on here that I did not bring down to show you guys today. That would have been really smart. I've been running around all day. I'll add that to another show here so you guys can see it, but I'll bring that up here on the side so you guys can see that as well. Let's go ahead and share. If you were to pick one other one of these that I would recommend highly, let's close out of these tabs that we're not using. Maybe that will help speed things up. That's going to be this magnetic handheld one. Very similar feature set, the same exact modes, maybe a little bit brighter. I don't know exactly on this one. 2-hour battery life as well, but it is magnetic and pole mountable. So you can mount this onto a pole. Works incredibly well, has all the different color temperatures, has the special effects that they're showing off here. Oh, looks like they're linkable. I didn't even know that. But this is another one. I carried this up, and I use this actually in an attic just as a utility light. I carried it with me through this attic. I was doing a camera install last night for a security camera. I said, I need a light to carry with me, and this one is magnetic. It'll stick on anything, which can be really good. So you don't have to limit these to just using them specifically for streaming. So I'm going to bring you guys back here. Wrong button. We'll come to the next product. Taking a look here, and Jonathan's checking in. He says, this would be nice for B-roll shots. Absolutely. These are really good for B-roll. It's really good for lighting your set too. If you don't have a lot of space, you don't have a lot of money. I use a lot of these. Well, okay, fine. I'll show you. They're basically chicken coop bulbs. So I basically take these little utility frames. I put Wise bulbs in them. And you can see up there, I've got some more lighting. There you go. That's how I do those. But you know what? If you have a lot less room and maybe that's what you want to just pull off. Let me make sure I got that camera back. Here we go. Maybe you have less room. Maybe you just want a simpler thing, easier to charge, not as much wiring. It's not more of a permanent setup. You could absolutely use those little lights for B-roll and to fill in. So we're going to take a quick look here on Amazon to make sure I get the right lighting products in the right order here. And we're going to go into some more tripods and other devices that you're going to need. So we said that this mounting, this tabletop mount is a good option. I always highly recommend, if you're a beginning content creator, to use some sort of tripod mount for your camera. If you're using even with a phone and you want to do some really nice pan shots, a fluid head tripod mount is what everybody's talking about. Now, this is one product that I think, I got two of me on there. This is one product that I think does really well at one thing, but I wish there was one small improvement they would make. We're going to do a quick unbox of it. It's the GM24 from Neewer. I do use this a lot, especially with my camera over there. It is a very simplistic fluid head mount. Now, what's a fluid head? Well, you see, this is me moving it as fast as I can, and it's not flexing quickly. There's actually a fluid inside of here that is slowing my panning up and down. The neat thing about that is if you're trying to take a very good shot, in some of my early Gamdius videos, I was using just the regular tripod. And what's funny is with the right tension, you can let the camera fall or rise at a constant speed, and it almost looks like it's on a slider. So this is the GM24. It does come with a Arca Swiss mount. One thing I'd also recommend is when you start with a camera mounting system, try to stick with the same camera mounts. Actually, let me go grab you one of those mounts so you see what it looks like. I don't have the one that came with this one. I lost it, of course. But here you go. So this is a standard Arca Swiss from a different tripod manufacturer. And the beauty of it is it'll fit on that one just fine. So again, if you have all the same style of mounts and clamps here, all of your devices will be interchangeable. So I try to do that as much as possible. The one thing I would say that is difficult on this one, and it makes it hard to recommend this one specifically, is kind of a big miss on it, which is it has fluid head for up and down panning. So if you're doing that, it has just a tension set for the left and right. Now it does have, if I bring you guys over here, the 1/4-20 mount on the bottom. And if you take this off, it has a little quarter insert. It goes to the next higher, which I think is 3/8. So it can actually mount to a 3/8 center, which is on most of your good tripods. Now I do use a larger, this is my tripod that I use for a lot of my outdoor shoots. especially with my sliders that weigh more. And this is a traditional fluid head. It's from Bellabon. It's a used one. I got it, I think, at a Goodwill one time. But this has the same feature that you're getting in the GM24. It's got that up down, but it is adjustable. So I can adjust how much tension there is. And as I slide it side to side, and I tighten this down, slide side, it has that same fluid for the horizontal pan. Now, if I take it off quickly, I'll show you what you can do. So this is the fluid head. Now, if you have a traditional tripod or a desk mount, a 1/4-20, and you want to add a fluid head capability, so this is the tripod here that you're seeing, I can go ahead and add this. I need that adapter, it looks like. And this will actually work with one of their upcoming products, which I'm going to show you here on the stream. Okay. So I could put this on here, tighten it down, tighten, there we go. Now I can pan left and right. So you can see this GM24, but you'll notice that it doesn't really have any of that tension, whereas up, down has that fixed tension. This is only fluid head in the vertical orientation. They don't tell you that. So that's one drawback here. Other interesting thing about this one specifically is it does have, let me pull this back off of here so you guys can see it. It does have this handle, which is very valuable. I highly recommend having a handle on your tripod, whatever that is. Even on some of these desk mounts, if you were to desk mount this like so, having a handle for any of your devices, you're not touching the screens, you're not hitting buttons accidentally, that can be very valuable as well. So a couple options to look at there. So that's the GM24. Now what's funny is I actually use this with the tripod right now that has my TikTok camera on it, which is a super compact travel tripod. I use this head with that because I like having the control of a handle, and that one didn't come with it. So it is a good upgrade if you have an existing tripod. Just know that it does not have the traditional horizontal fluid head motion that you might want. So very cool. We're getting into the fun stuff here. We're getting low on the product list. I want to make sure I've covered everything. I'm going to go to the next product here. Which is going to be kind of fun. Let's go with this one first, because I think you guys will like this. This is from Neewer as well. This is more of a pro level content creator item. If you're making videos, you always have to have one of these. Well, what is it? It's a slider, a camera slider. So as you see people, that have videos and their camera seems to move along, maybe they're doing a time lapse and it has really smooth motion. This camera slider from Neewer is a budget friendly version of stuff that usually costs a lot more. This one's available on Amazon right now. It is on sale on Amazon. So this very long piece of carbon fiber looking, I'm going to switch you over here on the top down. So this right here is going to be terribly hard to unbox because it's huge, but this one is 32 inches long, 80 centimeters from Neewer. And this is their motorized parallax camera slider. What's parallax? Well, if you've ever seen a slide pan that actually turns as it's sliding, you'll see that happen. That's a parallax effect, and it can be an incredibly interesting thing in your videos. It can even work with fixed cameras. So if I wanted to have a parallax effect going on my camera, I could take this camera slider, which I think right now, I'm not supposed to talk about prices. It's $231 for this one. There are cheaper, smaller models. I actually carry around a little bit smaller version, like a 28 inch. But this one's 32 inches. Let's go through what you get inside this and how it works. Now, this can mount to a tripod, but very simply, I'm going to see what the best camera angle for you guys is. I think it's going to be this one. Well, I set this up. There we go. Okay, so just very simply, you can adjust the legs out, and most of these are called tabletop camera sliders, but you can use them with a set of tripods. And I'm going to put my very expensive camera on here, I think. Let me see if I can do that. Let's turn this. So what I'm doing right now is just putting these legs out. This does take a little bit of setup when you're going to go ahead and put these together, but the payoff when you'll see it, and I've got some examples of my videos that I show you, definitely separates the haves from the have-nots. So when you have a motorized camera slider like this one from Neewer, and I'm going to go ahead and use this. Remember we talked about the Arca Swiss mounts? Well, if my camera already has a Swiss mount, which it does, I can use that. So this mounts right here to the center. This is a ball head that comes with it that you can tension set. So maybe you want to track something on your table, you can do that. This is a data cable for your slider. It's going to give it power and data. These are camera interface cables. I'm not going to use the camera interfaces. I'm not going to need any of these, but these are all designed to actually do time-lapse photography. So you can do some really amazing stuff. There's going to be different instructions here from Neewer on how to use all the features. There's going to be a couple extra adapters in here as well. There is a charger, and then it's going to use a Sony type battery mount on here. So this is that F550 battery. So this is from Neewer. This is their battery that they include, which I just charged up last night. And then this is their charger, which they include also. So you're getting quite a few pieces of kit here when you purchase this one item. And I'm going to show you now with my very expensive camera how this works. And then I'm going to show you the results of what you can expect when you have a really good camera slider. So here we go. And I'm going to come back out here. So lots of different pieces. You can see this thing barely fits on my desk, but this has been one of the devices that really separates when you're a YouTuber or content creator. This really separates the people that are investing in their photography. And these are very adjustable. I'm trying to get it just right so it doesn't move. And from the people that are, more hobbyist. And that's not to say it's a bad thing, but if you have one of these and you use it, you can make some really amazing shots. I've actually done this recently for Sapphire graphics cards. Look at any of the 7000 series graphics card videos on YouTube, and you'll see my mug there, and I'll be using a slider in those videos. So before I put the camera on here, I'm just going to show you the basics of it. So we're going to go back to the top down. This is the controller, and I can turn it on here. You'll see it comes up with the Neewer logo, and you'll see that this camera, the slider is already moving on its own, and it says on the screen, searching for points A and B. So it's finding the ends. It found one end, which is really nice. Actually, my other one doesn't do the auto stopping, so maybe I need to switch up to this one. So, find the camera slider that fits in your budget, in your price range, in your space available. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can adjust this. So this is my Panasonic GH5. It's a 4K, really high resolution camera. And I'll show you a little bit about what that parallax is all about. So now I can come to the menu on here. I want to be in video mode. So you push in, I'm going to be in manual mode. Now you can set the speed, the gradient, and then the start. So we're going to go over. So what I'm doing right now is using the hand controls. Now, some of these you can actually use with your smartphone. I do like that, and I don't like that. Maybe if I'm filming with my smartphone, that could be difficult. So, I'm basically turning it into manual mode here. Or if you press and hold, I can go into video mode and I can say auto mode. And then what I do is I just tell it the locations. So I can move to A. And then let's see. Oh, so I'd have to set the points, but let me go ahead and do this real quick before I start it. I'm going to go ahead and mount my camera to it so I can start talking to you about parallax. So it's going to come with the Arca Swiss mount, but guess what? Because my other gimbal over there also uses that same mount technology, I don't have to do a lot of work to switch. So there's my camera. Let's say I was facing it towards you, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn it on and see if it actually has juice. Guess not. Okay, but what I can do now is I can go ahead and start this, and you can see my camera is automatically sliding. Now it's also doing something here. You'll notice it's twisting a little bit. Hopefully you can see that on the top down. I'm going to bring that out. This is what the parallax is. So it's going to the first spot, and then it's going to go ahead and slow and then stop. That's what that gradient is. And then I'm going to go back here. Now it's going to be on the move to B. I'm telling it to start. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to give you an amazing video effect of both motion and a perspective change. So you're moving along in space, but you're also doing it incredibly smooth, smoother than you can ever do this by hand. Additionally, you're going to get that perspective change. Now, what does this look like in a video? People are going, okay, you're showing all this stuff, but I don't know where does this apply to me? Let me bring you back over here. I'm going to go ahead and share my YouTube video again that we were just looking at. Remember this scene here? So this is that video bar. Let me go over here. This is actually a scene in my kitchen, and you can see what's happening there. It is both panning through the kitchen sideways and it's turning left. That's a parallax. So it gives this gorgeous effect. If you're doing product shot videos, this can be amazing. If you just want to add a little bit more visual interest to your YouTube set, you can have this going with your main camera and your video scene will change just that much, just slightly. There you go. So that was an example of this camera slider from Neewer. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to Neewer's website so that you can see where you can get this. Sorry, let's go over here, go to Amazon. And there's the motorized camera slider. Again, for what it offers, very decent value, 4.4 star rating. There are two versions of it, and ironically, the 100 centimeter one is less expensive right now. Again, if you get too big a one, you're not going to use it. You're not going to be able to mount it as easily. This does mount to both a tripod, or you can use it on top of a desk like this. I've even used it with two tripods or light stands. That works really well. This comes with everything you need to handle the slider itself. Additionally, if you wanted to do time-lapse video, it has that capability as well. So if you want to take a time lapse of a sunset or a busy scene in a city, that's always an excellent one. It can do 1 frame per second, and then or 1 frame, so many per minute, and then you can stitch those together and you can have a really great looking video. So that's available right now on Amazon as well. That would be a little bit more of an advanced item, but definitely one of the things that can change dramatically your footage and the perception of your channel as a YouTuber or content creator. I've definitely paid for these kind of pieces of equipment multiple times over, being able to charge brands to do really nice videos for them and help them market their product. And a slider is a big component of that. So only a couple products left. Taking a quick look here. Jonathan Talks Hardware. Yo, I want that. Well, let's talk, man. I'm going to see what I can do for you. Maybe Santa's involved. That would be great. A couple other things that we're going to take a look at real quick here. I got 2 more lights, and then I've got a couple more small devices. The next one, let me grab it out here, is a simple light bar. Lighting cannot be understated as the thing that's really going to help your cheaper cameras look better, the more light that you have, that can add visual interest to your sets. So this, and I'm trying to get the model number right on this one, is the CL124 from Neewer. It is an LED light bar. We're going to do an unboxing together. And light bars are very unique in that they're long and skinny. This one is not RGB, but it does come with a carrying case. There is an RGB model available if you're interested. So let's see what you get inside this thing. This one does have a user manual here. Going to have some warranty information. That's one thing I love about Neewer is I've never had any problems with their products, but I always see that, and they have great customer service available if you ever did have an issue with their stuff. But honestly, the quality for a budget-friendly brand is pretty amazing on all the Neewer stuff. The desktop lights, I did manhandle those, so I've got to take some blame on that one. So inside of here, you're going to have a charging cable, looks like USB Type-C, which is awesome. You're going to have a remote control, which I've already programmed. I did have to add batteries to my remote control. I'm going to bring this off to the side. And then you're going to have this LED light with barn doors. So what are barn doors? Well, barn doors act as a light diffuser. Now, I actually use these in my set right now. I've got grids and barn doors and flags, we call them, just pieces of cloth or other stuff to guide light the way I want it. And without those, it's a completely different picture. So I'll go ahead and start this up right now so I can turn it on. It's at 0 right now, so it remembers the last setting. Now it has 10 different lighting levels. Now you're going to say, well, is that really that bright? If you look behind me, how much light that's casting out, the barn doors are helping protect it. But if I open those up, you can look at how that's lit my entire set with just one hand light. Now that is at 10%. Now let's see if I can do this without destroying my studio or the products. Let's go ahead and tighten this down. We'll tighten this down. Said we were going to get some use out of this today. This has also a quarter 20 mount on the bottom. So if I wanted to add maybe a remote light that doesn't impact my camera that you're looking at, you see how I'm not blowing your light away, but I'm lighting the subject really well. I can use this to then turn it on or off if I need to. I can turn it up or down. I can change the color intensity. So on, off, up, down. I can change the color temperature, it looks like, and intensity. Where is that? I've got to get the right set here. Okay, so that's that one. There it is. I'm just not hitting the right buttons. Okay, so I can change the color intensity up, and you can see how bright that's getting. So that's 100% brightness. I can come back down here to 10% brightness. Now, if I didn't have that large parabolic above, we talked about that earlier, you can see how this one is even more diffused than the desktop one we talked about earlier. So maybe if you just had this light bar, and that was the only thing that you had, and you wanted to light your set, now I've got that split lighting that we talked about. So I use these kind of lights everywhere in my studio, so there you can see on the side camera how that's working. It's just pointing light at me. Now up there, I have a light box and I have a grid on it. This barn doors are doing essentially the same thing, and I can adjust those barn doors. Let's say my background is getting too much light. See if I adjust the barn door, it takes it off of the television there and off of that background. So I can adjust this barn door. Now, if I really want to, have it go towards the camera, I can do that. Or if I want to protect the camera, I can do that. There we go. So you can definitely adjust this. So that's when it's in a mounted position. This would be a great one. It's a holidays. I got to put this one out here. Hey, Charles. That is a great comment. Clark Griswold could use this. Super cool. So again, you could mount this. Oh, just hit my top down rig. I could mount this above. There's like a holy image. Woo! But I could mount this above to light a set. I could use it to light a table. There we go. So if I needed that top down lighting here for maybe a product shot, I could do that. So again, without it, you don't really notice because the cameras automatically adjust, but good lighting can really, really help. And you can see all that. Now, one of the things we didn't talk about yet was CRI. So that's the color accuracy. So a lot of these have 95, 97 or better CRI. If you just get cheap smart bulbs, a lot of times the CRI, and you can see I was giving an upglow on this, a lot of times the CRI is just not there. So having a good CRI rating is nice to have. Now this one can sit on its own. So if you just wanted to put some light against a back wall or something in your image, you could do that. So again, I'd put something like this, and I could have it light behind a couch. Maybe you needed some lighting, or you just wanted to add interest. You could use this outside. That's another beautiful thing. So if you have a window in your scene and you want to light it up, make it look like it's daylight, put this outside. It'll be so bright that it'll make it look like it's daylight, even if it's night when you're shooting. And I love the capability of having a remote. It's not smartphone enabled. That would be really nice, but most of the lighting that I use isn't. This is a more expensive Godox unit that I use, but their newer one keeps right up with it. So taking a look, that one is available on Amazon right now. It's $59.49, and this is for just a color changing light bar. It does have the warm and the cool lighting temperature, so you can adjust that to match your lighting. Like I said, I try to use about 5,000. So that is from the Neewer company. Okay, we have one more light to show, and this one is kind of a universal light here. Give me 1 second, I'll take a drink, check a look at the chat. Randy's checking in. There you go. Don't burden your head with that. Yeah, luckily all these lights are LEDs, so it doesn't get super hot. It is getting super hot in the studio today because my ACs are set up all automated now. And so I've turned the AC on in this room, but the heat's going upstairs because it's like 45 out. And so now it shut my AC off in the room. So I got to deal with that later. Thanks for checking in. Good to see you. And Pinky Tech comment of the week, is that a lightsaber? No, it is not, but it could actually do that. Pretty cool. Um, that's pretty awesome. Good to see you guys checking in here. Sorry, I was looking to see if I have the right items to show next. This item that's been in the background of the set the whole time is my one and only ring light. And you're like, okay, John, are you trying to be like a TikTok model or whatever? But actually, a ring light is incredibly valuable to have. Again, so there is my set without light. This is a ring light and stand and tripod mount that comes from Neewer. Now, this one is super easy to use. It's a great fixed mount, or take it on the go with you. And you can see how quickly that fills the light in the space. The bigger the light and the closer it is to the subject without being in the scene like that, the softer of effect you're going to get and the more impressive the lighting is going to look. So that's just a hint. That's why I have an even larger parabolic that I use. I carry that everywhere with me. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this out over here and I'm going to have it simulate being my big parabolic dish. So if you want to use this thing, not even as a TikToker's light, but if I just said, hey, you know what? I don't want that parabolic up there. I just want to use this. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this the right direction. So now that's out of the way. And if I turn it down just a little tiny bit, because I think it's actually overpowering a little bit, that looks normal. You guys, other than the light grid, so it doesn't spill as much on my background, my lighting is back to neutral, maybe a little bit split light. So that's actually back to normal. Now, it has a lot of light capacity. Look how much light that thing can throw out with just one ring light. So this thing's blowing out my studio. And in a lot of cases, if you have a cheaper camera, you need to blow your lights out. That didn't sound right. It does help a lot, but I can also tone it down to almost nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you on the side camera, and you can see that's the one I'm using over there, and it's been filling the job of that very large light. Now, a couple other things that you can do with this, and I really wish, let's see if I can do this a little bit differently. I have a very small studio and a lot of equipment on this one today. Let me go ahead and show you a couple other things that it can do, and I'll bring you over here. So if I'm looking from the side camera, now one of the things that it does is once it goes around your camera like that, look how natural my skin tone is. That's better skin tone than I have most of the time. And then I can increase the brightness. Now this is an automatic camera, so it's going to change over time, but you can see there, I would probably come down a little bit, but that's a decent look. Very well lit. This is why all the makeup people on the TikTok use this, is because it can literally do that. Now, same thing if I'm doing a product demonstration on my top-down camera. I put this over here, and now I have a very, let me see if I've got something interesting I could show over here. Let's put this out here. So without any lighting, okay, don't get well, I shouldn't say no lighting, but if with just basic lighting, that's what you get. Now, if I put this over it, there we go. A lot more details show up, as you can see in here. So that is using my ring light. I'll bring you guys out so you can see it. That's just using my ring light around my top down to just give a nice diffused light. Works really incredibly well. Super light, easy to hang, easy to use on tripods or other bases. A couple interesting things. It does have a tripod mount built into it. It does come with a light stand, so you can do what I'm doing right now here. It also comes with another feature, which we saw on the very first product. Let me grab these. And then this is gels. So it does come with some gels, and those are just pieces of plastic that are designed to go around the ring light and clamp onto it. Let me see if I can adjust that. Sorry, guys. I've been like beating all my cameras up today here in the studio. It's close enough. So these gels that you see here are just orange lights that are meant to clamp onto this ring and replace the ones here. So there's the ring light. You can take these off and you can replace them to give yourself more of a warm light appearance. So you can do all four of them. You can do some of them. You can also take these off and go completely undiffused, so you can see the LED grid. It is not tunable from a color temperature perspective. That's one drawback of this ring light, but it looks to be somewhere around 5,000 if I had to guess. So it is a very common brightness. So I don't think you're going to have any issues. And I'm going to try to get this put back together here. There we go. So very nice to have if you're a beginning content creator. If you're going to pick up one light and that's all you're going to ever have, this might be it. Because it can do so much, from either being on your camera to being a top-down camera and to give you great detail. There we go. Of course, I'm going to have to tighten it back down. So this is from Neewer. This is a ring light. Now they make multiple versions of this. They make smaller ones. Again, larger, more diffused lighting that you get, the better it's going to look overall. Let's go ahead and put that other light back on. So I got my fill light back in. Let's go take a look at Amazon and what they say. They might have some pictures on this. Green says, I didn't realize how big that ring is. Yeah, it is. So if you see me at PDX Land and I have a huge ring light on my PC, I can barely see my monitor. It's because I want the best, softest light. I got to make this mug look good, right? So let's go back over here and we're going to check on the Amazon. That was our slider that we were looking at. Let's go ahead and take a look at this ring light. Okay. There we go. Make sure I did that right. So there's the ring light. It is $98. They have many different models, though. Like I said, if you want larger ones, if you want smaller ones, you can do that. It does come with a power supply. It also does come with a remote. I don't have that with me to show you right now. It's over in my gear box. But if you need to be able to start and stop your smartphone remotely, maybe you're doing some night shooting and you want to just, go ahead and have a remote photographer. Comes in a very large box and does come with a height adjustable stand. Looks like it'll go up to 78.7 inches on the stand. So that's almost 8 feet, so 6.5 inches. By the time you put the ring light in there, that's 18 inches and all that, you're 8 or 9 feet. So you can almost hit the ceiling with this thing. And it is going to give you a great lighting effect if you use this with your camera. You can see that on the TikTok here. Hey, welcome everybody for just joining. It's John the Net Guy on TikTok. But if you want to, again, use a ring light like this with your camera in the center, you can do that. But a split lighting effect can be so powerful if you're doing content creation. And that would be moving the light off to the side and just use the fact that it's such a large diffused light. That can be really cool. Really nice to have as well. So that is from Neewer. This one is a very, very popular product here. Does have free Prime shipping, it looks like. I'm just looking at the customer reviews. 4.6 out of 5. You're going to get a lot of makeup people, a lot of content creators. 4.6. I'm going to go back down here a little bit. I did show you some of the other versions that they have. You can get RGB versions. You can do that, but a good, solid, basic light can be excellent, and you can see what comes with it there. It does come with a phone mount, and all kidding aside, that's the phone mount I'm using because it's one of the best phone mounts I found for iPhone. It's what I'm using on my tripod over here right now. It does also come with a ball mount and a power supply. It does use a standard computer style plug on that power supply too. So I've got a bunch of those around here, which makes it really easy. And then you can see with the orange filter, which gives you more of a warm light effect. So without it, I believe it's somewhere, it looks like 5,500 Kelvin, it looks like. And it's a total power of 55 watts. So a single light, 55 watts. That is a ton of light that you can put out with it. So that is second to last product here on the stream today. I'm going to show you just a sneak peek of the next product that we're going to look at and unbox, and that is this gaming microphone. I saw a deal on this one. I picked it up the other day and I said, I want to know if this is as good as it sounds. It has all of the right pieces with it, but we're going to test it out, and that's going to be the last product today. But I'm going to go ahead and come back to the stream, and we'll do a quick unbox of that, and we'll go to town. If you have any questions, let me know about it. If you want to see any of the products again, also, I've got some really cool stuff coming up next week for Black Friday. I can't talk about some of it yet. I did see some of the deals on Black Friday, and there are some exceptional things coming. That's all I can say. I'm holding off on buying some of the products that I want for next week. Now, these products here, I don't know if they're going to go on sale. I can't say that, but they're always a great value year round. Okay, so last product here, and this is also from Neewer, surprise, is going to be their CM20 desk microphone kit. It's a 4-in-1 desk set. We're going to go ahead and do an unboxing, and then I'm going to do a sound check with it. You're going to get to see all about it. This would be great if you're looking for a budget-friendly beginning streaming microphone. Now, you'll see microphones that have RGB lights and dancing and all this other stuff. What you really need is a good either dynamic or condenser microphone that you get comfortable speaking into. Now, there's a bunch of different ways to do that. Let's go ahead and do an unbox here, and I'll talk about that as we set it up. I took this out and I was very impressed with it. So let's go ahead. We've got our full manual here, which is going to talk about the pickup patterns. It's going to talk about all of the different ways this thing mutes. It does have a USB Type-C interface. It's going to tell you how to go through your computer and set all the settings and the audio levels. It's going to tell you how to set it up properly on the desk. So that's nice to have. I'm also going to do that for you right now. This is your pop filter. It is for plosives. Anything with a lot of air rushing out of your mouth is going to be really sensitive on microphones. And so this filter is going to do the same thing as a foam filter. Don't use both, but use one and you'll protect yourself. Also, how you speak into a mic can really make a difference if you learn good mic etiquette. This is the base. And again, this is the first time I'm taking these out here live on the show, just because I wanted you guys to see and experience this while I do. Very simple to install. So this is a clamp mount system, very similar to all the other ones. Now you could put this on the far side of your desk, or you put it on the near side, or you could put it onto the regular side off to the side. This is not going to flex out in time, but this is the foam cover. So if you want to see microphone noobs, they'll run the foam cover and the pop filter at the same time. You pick one or the other. Honestly, it's overkill if you use both. This is going to have a shock mount, and it is actually looks like some elastic bands, which is what really a lot of the professional shock mounts are made with. So that's good to see. It is going to have a spring mount. Now, this is kind of an older style now with all the fancy arms, but honestly, they work. And I actually use my GoPro over here that I'm doing this live stream with right now is on one of these style mounts. So this is, I believe, a 5/8 size end, but if you take this off, it can actually shrink down to a 3/8 size, which you could actually then use with a tripod, that tripod head I showed you the other day. But this is being the normal size here. It does come with a long USB Type-C to USB-A cable, which is going to be important because we're going to use that to plug in, and we're going to use my laptop and see how that works. So there's the cable right there. I always do a cable test. I should do that for you guys here. So I stretch out. I'm 6 feet long. This looks like about an 8-foot cable. It's got a couple extra, maybe almost 9 feet off the end of there, which will be nice. And then you have the microphone unit itself. This is the CM20 microphone kit from them. And you're going to see something right away. If you're very perceptive, you see that disc in the center. That's a very large capsule to pick up the audio. Now you can see in there how it's soldered on. Hopefully this thing works. Like I said, I've just taken it out of the bag for the first time. It's going to have a mute button, a push button mute, and then it's going to have a twist knob for gain. So that's really the only controls you need. Some microphones will have additional zero latency out, especially the analog ones. But in this case, you're just going to use your computer and whatever software. So I'm going to go back out here. I'm going to show you actually on this camera, I think, the easiest way to set this up. So we're going to apply the desk mount. And that is going to hold the base of the microphone stand. This is going to be the spring-loaded stand. So this goes either, like I said, behind your monitor, and then the mic can go over, off to the side. There we go. Now this screw back here is actually just going to be the tension, so it doesn't swing around too much. There's also additional tension set here and tension set here on the end. Now, there's a couple different options here. I'm kind of looking to see which way I want to go with this. So I'm going to take a quick look at the way that they show it mounted here, because I don't want to mount this thing upside down incorrectly, inadvertently. And it looks like they're showing it with the cage facing upward. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and screw it into this mount. And the neat thing about this is if you had a fancier boom arm and you just like the audio quality of this microphone, I've gone through probably 20 microphones to get the right one that I like. You can absolutely use a different version. This tilts. It looks like there's adjustability in about 16 different places on this. It is a USB Type-C, so it looks very much the part of an XLR mic or an analog mic, but it is a USB Type-C. And you know what? I think it would actually be better served the other way, because I would have better access to. So maybe that's just a pictographic image here issue. It's going to be tight either way, but I can go ahead and adjust this down. There we go. I think I'm going to have a little bit better access, but again, we'll find out to that. Mute. Yeah, depends on the look you're going for. You guys can see this. I can adjust that. The mount's going to act exactly the same. Now, what I'm doing is tightening this ring below here so that it's at the angle that I want it at, because I won't be able to adjust it later. Now you'll see when I tap this or move it, this has a swing to it separate from the arm. Now the arm on these, they move quite a bit, so we're just going to have to deal. But I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. I'm taking a look at the chat and seeing how far behind I am. We learned about plosives in choir and jazz class and good microphone techniques. Green checking in with some help for us here. Multiple tones and modes with the light. Oh, dental fricatives. That could be interesting. I know I'm an esser. I have to use a de-essing filter when I speak on microphones a lot of times. So I'm going to go ahead and plug the USB Type-C in here. The beauty of this being USB Type-C is it's going to work without an audio interface. It's going to work without any external power, phantom power. I'm going to go ahead and bring you guys over here so you guys can see it. I'm going to plug this now into my show laptop, and I hope there's enough bandwidth here for this all to work. I don't usually use the show laptop, and I'm going to have to configure the audio input on this now to the microphone, which it automatically picked. Now I'm going to turn off the echo cancellation and auto gain on this, because I don't want you guys to hear. Now this is not going to be super high resolution audio, but I don't want you guys to see. Now you can actually see it does have a very small blue LED light. Maybe you can see it. I'm going to try not to hurt this thing. So it does have a little blue glow in there. When I turn it on mute, it does have a red. So it's not, I wouldn't call it RGB like craziness, but it definitely has a hard mute, which I like, and it's got a visible mute indicator, which I also like. Okay, so we've got two things going for us. Now, I'm going to switch this off. I'm going to switch that audio on, and we're going to see how this works. Okay, so my laptop is on. Now you're getting audio from this device. It's really low right now because I have almost zero. Now I'm turning the gain up, turning the gain up, turning the gain up. So that's the gain almost all the way up. Now, if I'm going to talk into this microphone, and let me know, guys, if I'm blowing the speakers out here and it's not good, because I can't hear myself on it yet. But I'm talking the microphone. The lips are not going to match, but you can definitely see it there. So somebody has a great comment here. Randy, I love it when you're in here, man. It says, oh, need to boost the gain. That's somebody else. But let's see Randy's. He says, it's got the RB, but no G. I love it. I love it. Okay. So we'll see. It says, can't hear, need to boost the gain. Okay, I do see that it's working here. Now, the closer you talk to it, the better. So again, I'm getting close to the base level. Now, I didn't boost the microphone gain on this one. Let's see. And Windows 10 makes the microphone do this. And I'm going to do mute for a second. So hopefully you guys can hear me on the top down. I'm just going to look at microphone gain settings here. Sound mixer settings. More volume settings. Mono audio speakers. Microphone volume. Okay, so now there we go. I'm back on that one. Now I've increased the microphone volume. I'm talking there. That should be a lot better. So what I had to do is I had to go into Windows, and I had it set at like 53%. So I boost the microphone gain in Windows. So hopefully that sounds better. I'm going to go back to the app here, and you guys can tell me if that's even better. So that should be good, rich sound. I'm almost full gain here. I'm going to come to about half gain. So now this is half gain, and it's looking like it's filling in really well. And this is with the Neewer CM20 USB microphone. I've got more of a deeper voice, it sounds like. The closer I get to something, and that's the neat thing on these condensers and dynamics, you can do that. Dynamics are even better, but the closer you get to it, the more presence you have with the microphone, and so that can be really good. And it's funny because one person says too loud and now one says too low. So it might be just my adjustment. Now I can turn the automatic gain control on, and that can automatically take care of this. I'm looking to see if it does have any sort of noise cancellation capabilities. It doesn't look like that. Fairly basic, but you know what? For the price, that's great. It does say that it supports Android and Mac OS. And hey, now that we have a new interface for iPhones, USB-C, maybe we can even use some external microphones. That'd be pretty cool. One thing that really bothers me sometimes on these, and I know that the lips might not be matched up because they were coming from two different systems, but is when you hit mute, if you hear an audible click. So I'm going to keep talking and then I'm going to hit mute. There's an unclick for unmute. So that could be interesting. Abraham, I can't say that on the show, man. But thank you for checking in. I appreciate that. So pretty cool. A very interesting microphone. I can't wait to hear this and play it back. I will try to use this, to be honest, on a couple other shows. I am going to switch back just for consistency. Somebody said the click is audible. So awesome. I appreciate that. So that was the CM20 microphone. You guys got to hear the first sample test of it live. We got to adjust the volume level in Windows, which was slick. I got to tell you all about what's coming up next week because it is rapid fire week. I'm going to be a busy boy next week, and especially for you guys on TikTok here. So I'm John, the Net Guy. If you're just tuning in, that was the show. We went through about 10 different products here from the Neewer company. They did not pay me. Where's the Neewer logo? I had a really good Neewer logo to show here in a second. These guys, right, from Neewer. I want to thank them again for all the support on on Twitter. They've been retweeting this. So if you guys are just joining, it might have been from that retweet. They make great beginner streaming products, from lights to microphones. Now you've heard, to stands to all sorts of great products if you're a new content creator or want to do some streaming. Now I told my friends, I've spent more money on bigger lights. I've spent more on other stuff, but for what they provide, one of my favorite brands, and you get good, consistent, affordable technology across the board. So I want to thank you on that. Next week, I got a great show for you guys. We're having a special show on Wednesday, the 22nd. I'm trying to do it before Craft Computing. So if you guys normally watch Craft, a lot of you do, this is going to be at 5 o'clock because I'm jumping on to Danny Nerd on a Budget stream. He's actually going to be in here. So I'm going to be about here and he's going to be about there. And we are going to be building a giveaway PC for a very special kid, and we'll tell you more about it. He's a viewer of this show. He's going to get to see the PC being built. We're going to take it apart after the show. We're going to mail it down to him in pieces, and he's got to do it all over again. So that's the crux of the show. It's going to be amazing. We've had brands like Sapphire Technologies kicked in a video card. Gamdia sent us a ton of stuff for it. It's going to be amazing. Wise even just kicked in a gaming headset. So this person's going to have a gaming headset. It's going to be an absolute blast. Couldn't go to a better person. And so we're very excited about that. Black Friday is coming up. There are an incredible amount of deals on Black Friday. I was just sifting through the list here. I'm going to be doing a show for the Scepter company. So, they're budget friendly ultra wides. I'm actually looking at an ultra wide right now from Scepter, which I'm using. So that's been really good. I also have their 32, 27, 24s. We're going to have a whole bunch of their monitors. So we're going to do a custom show for them. Let me know if you want to see any specific games. Maybe we'll do some gaming during that show, but that's going to be on Black Friday. And again, very great pricing on those. And then I'm going to be doing a second show on Black Friday of just some universal stuff that's coming in, some cool home tech, some other neat things that I've seen. And then I'm going to be doing a show on Cyber Monday. So we've got Wednesday show, 2 Black Friday shows, and a Cyber Monday, and then I quit. I'm out. That's a lot of content to be created, but I really do appreciate you guys checking in. Favorite thing is the pan from Neewer. Interesting. The slider, I'm guessing, the big camera slider. That's a really cool product. Maybe we can see if Newer will help us do a giveaway or something. And then Green's checking in and says, for the $30 to $50 price point, it's pretty good. Might be good for a podcast, but you move around too much for that, Mike. Oh man, I watch myself on my stuff, and I'm constantly a dancer. I'm like, I'm changing weight. Maybe I need to put my I've got an anti-fatigue mat that I can do that. So, and then we got another comment. The quality gamer streamer microphones at the entry level have improved dramatically. Absolutely. I've had other microphones on here from Toner and other brands. Maybe it would be fun to do a head-to-head between some of the Newer brands and some of the Toner, and maybe we can do a whole budget microphone night. That would be really cool. And heck, maybe I can give them away as well. And Pinky says, might as just well go for a 24-hour live. Well, if you want to join me, I'll stay up as late as you do, but it is earlier my time than it is your time. So thanks again. If you have not already, take a look at subscribing on YouTube. If you want to say hi to me on TikTok, which I have 1.2 thousand likes. Thank you guys for doing that. It says I've been going for 90 minutes. Don't forget to take a break. Well, I appreciate you, TikTok, for letting me know that. We are going to have a ton of fun next week. If there's anything specific you want to know about these products afterward, let me know. But take a look follow me on YouTube. Don't forget to follow me on my Amazon shop. I'm going to be going live on those future shows, except the Wednesday one, are all going to be on Amazon. The 2 Black Friday and the 1 Cyber Monday. So make sure you're following on Amazon because you'll get the alert when I go live. You may not on YouTube, but you get it on there. So are these products listed somewhere? Hey, man, I forgot to say that. Thank you for reminding me. If you go to my Amazon store, now, again, all honesty, I don't ship these things out. Amazon does. But if you visit my Amazon page, looks something like this. When I'm live streaming, you'll see it. They have the 2 the 2 lights there, the desktop lights. It's the Newer streaming products show. I'm going to turn your comment off so I can see it. That's going to show you all of the products that I showed today. And pretty soon, when my editor gets done with this, you're going to have a video for all these products. So if you go into those product pages, you may see me on there. Like I said, I do this live show. We turn this into content, and that content then gets put on Amazon. So thank you guys all for tuning in. I'm going to take a look for one last run for questions. No questions on here. I will catch you guys all in the next one.